Good day, everyone. My name is Jason Abig. I'm the CEO of the Greater Saskatoon Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the Chamber's 115th Annual General Meeting. The Chamber team and Board of Directors and many of you are participating today from Treaty 6 territory in the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. Recognizing this historical connection to the land now known as Saskatoon is really important to our city's future and our efforts here at the Chamber to promote Indigenous economic inclusion across our community. So from wherever you are joining us today, whether it's here in Treaty 6 or elsewhere, a warm welcome to you. Today's annual general meeting will be recorded so all members can view it later on. And the voting procedure is very straightforward today. On key motions, and those are the motions needed to move through the agenda and make some key decisions. We'll be using the poll function on this Zoom platform. So when it's time to call the question and vote, a window will pop up on your screen. You'll be able to vote and we'll have the results in real time. If there are other motions proposed today, or if you have any questions, please send them to the chair of today's AGM, who is Joe Gill, through the chat, and he will take them in turn. Outgoing President Graham Snell was unable to chair today's meeting because he's traveling, but he will participate later on the agenda. So the current chair of our governance committee, Joe Gill, has graciously agreed to step in. So with that, let me hand today's proceedings over to Joe to chair today's AGM. Joe.
Perfect. Thank you, Jason, and good afternoon, everyone out there in the Zoomiverse, and welcome. Before we begin today's program, I just want to recognize a few special guests who hopefully I don't have a full view, but I'll call people out because if they're not here, they will be here at some point, I believe, or my teleprompter is wrong. But His Worship, Mayor Charlie Clark, Monica Kruger from Global Info Brokers, a past president of the Saskatoon Chamber, Chris Seacott from Nations Water Association, Inc., also a past president, Linda Exner from PCL Management, also a past director of the Chamber, and Sandra Ribeiro, Canadian Light Source, Inc., also a past director. So as chair, it's my privilege to call this 115th Annual General Meeting to order. The agenda and meeting package for today's meeting was circulated earlier and has also been posted to the chat to download. I assume that everybody has well read them thoroughly. The meeting package includes two parts: the audited financial statements of the Saskatoon Chamber and the 2021-2022 Chamber review of our operations and activities. We'll refer to those documents as we move through our agenda. So please have a look at the minutes of the 114th Annual General Meeting. And are there any corrections or clarifications? I don't see anybody raising hands or anybody going once, twice. So with that, may I have a motion? The motion has appeared in front of you. Motion number 1, to accept the minutes of the 114th Annual General Meeting as amended and as circulated. I'd ask you all please vote. Perfect. And then I think this should pop up, or I should get maybe for the purposes of efficiency on this, we'll have, oh, perfect. There we go. In favor, 96%. We had some individuals abstain. I'm going to say because they may or may not have read it. So that motion passes. Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for that. So we'll move on to the chair's report on this. So on behalf of Graham Snell as an initial matter, and on behalf of really the entire board, I want to thank the existing board of directors, the members, the staff, sponsors, partners, and volunteers for an outstanding year. It really does take an army to make a chamber successful. And I'm sort of, as I was gearing up for this thing, thinking about a quote from Michael Jordan of talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence win championships. And we've certainly had such a great team full of such an incredible amount of array of expertise coming to bear on that, whether that's been at the board level or among our membership this year. So we're certainly on track to win many championships, whatever that looks like. Over here, we're going to see, we've got the presentation up and hopefully everybody's seeing that on the side here. The highlights of this past year. So we're going to touch on a few of these. You'll see the infographic hopefully to your left. So We're seeing a rebound starting off in new members following 2 years of COVID-related challenges. Small and medium-sized businesses are recovering slowly and they are stabilizing. And we're seeing that in the 10% increase in new members this past year. We expect to reverse the overall trend this coming year with the additional outreach and support that we're providing current and prospective members. Our visibility in the community increased sharply in 2021, 2022, and we continue to make gains in earned media coverage, social media following, and e-blast response. And a little plug on that social media point, please like, follow, etc. the Chamber on all your forms of social media. It's greatly appreciated. In terms of communications, Business Voice magazine and the Chamber's website saw major changes in 2021, 2022, and the response from readers and advertisers has been very positive. We'll advance. Moving to program highlights. So we launched 2 important new programs in 2021 and 2022. First was the Totally Locally Market Hub and the Shop Local campaign, which was meant to drive more customers and clients to the doors of locally owned and operated businesses. And also very important, our UN92 series, which was to help our business community take action on TRC recommendation number 92 and advance economic reconciliation in Saskatoon. That led to the creation of the Reconciliation Roadmap for Small Businesses, which has become the go-to for SMEs looking to take their first steps along these matters. And I highly encourage everybody, if you haven't, check out the website. It's listed there, un92.ca. We also introduced 3 new discount partners to help Chamber members save on their bottom line. That was HBI Office Plus for office supplies and accessories, Air Miles, preferred pricing to offer loyalty rewards, and Staples for print and marketing, and information is covered in the infographic there. On the event highlights, we had events, they were good. We deployed our Powerhouse and Power Up event streams, in addition to our ever popular Chamber on Tap networking events, as well as our UN92 events. We also introduced a new format and an awards lineup for SABEX, Saskatoon's Premier Business Awards. And we were also proud to do something a little fun and interesting. I know Jason had a lot of fun with it, to partner with the NSBA and West on the launch of Funny Business, which we will continue to co-deliver as an annual event. And I know a lot of people were looking forward to that. On our advocacy highlights, last but not least, the Chamber continues to be Saskatoon's leading voice for business on a range of critical issues and initiatives. And you see them there, and we'll touch on some of them as well. Our advocacy priorities in 2021, 2022 will continue into next year. That includes modernizing and reforming the commercial property tax model, resuming regular US air service to Saskatoon and improving domestic schedules, making sure that we get the downtown event and entertainment district right, improving downtown safety, ensuring small and medium-sized businesses capitalize on Saskatchewan's economic growth and recovery, reducing regulatory barriers that constrain growth. And we will also relaunch our business confidence barometer this fall to take the pulse of business owners as they wrap up year end and they look ahead to 2023. With those highlights covered, I will now call on Tanis Taylor, the second vice chair and chair of our finance committee, to provide a report on the Chamber's financial position and audited financial statements. Tanis?
Great, thanks so much for joining us, everyone. I'll quickly touch on the highlights of the financial statements. The Chamber staff did a phenomenal job of keeping us on side with the financials this year. We had a targeted surplus for 2021, which we achieved. We optimized the project grants and eligible COVID relief programs, and the staff instituted very rigorous cost control to offset potential decreases in membership and sponsorship revenue. Of note is, as you probably know, the Chamber office relocated this year in January, which cut the Chamber's lease and occupancy costs by 45% going forward. Resources have been reallocated to support new advocacy and research initiatives and brand advertising. And the approved 2022 budget that was dealt with in December focuses on visibility and relevance to demonstrate value. Fully on boards a new business development manager with a territory sales plan focused on membership and sponsorship, maintains that tight focus on cost control, intensifies direct outreach to new and current members, reinvests in employee and team development, and adjusts salaries to reflect new responsibilities and or market conditions. And I should also mention that our auditor once again gave us a clean bill of health, and we are grateful to the auditor and to all of the internal staff for enabling that. Back over to you, Joe.
Excellent. Thank you, Tanis, for that report. So with that, and I'll apologize, we're already at the second item and I've managed to mess something up at this point, is I do actually need a mover and seconder for some of these motions before they move up. So probably the reason why they test me with running this is because I have an egregiously large monitor and can see everybody's hands go up. So can I ask for a motion to approve the 2021 audited financial statements? And I will look quickly for someone. Claire Marentet throws it up first, seconded by, let's see who else can go. Todd Denson. Excellent. I will ask everybody to vote on this motion. As you'll see, it should pop up on the poll. Magic of technology will tabulate the results. Excellent. The motion passes, 92% in favor and 8% abstain. Thank you for that. So next item, before we leave the subject of finances, there are a few motions that we need to make at this AGM. So with respect to the appointment of our auditor, signing authorities, and admission of new members to the chamber. So I will call for those now. First off, can I ask for a motion to appoint McClellan DeBouche as the auditor for the, and then I script it away, for the 2022 fiscal year. Let's see if I can get a hand up for that. Wanda Waldner, I saw, seconded by Tanis Taylor. If you could vote as you see the motion pop up on your screen. Perfect. The motion has passed, as you should see with the poll results. Next, can I ask for a motion to approve the chair, vice chair, second vice chair, and the chief executive officer as signing authorities for the Greater Saskatoon Chamber of Commerce? Can I have a mover? Adele Buettner, and Sandra Ribeiro seconds that. All in favor or opposed or abstain, I will ask you to vote. Perfect. The motion passes. Perfect. With that fun business out of the way, I think we have a slide coming up here that will add more context to what I'm about to say. Thank you. So, very important. Where would we be without our members, including the individuals I see as far as smiling faces today, as well as those noted on your screen right now. So as we noted off the top, we were pleased to welcome over 100 new members to the chamber this year. Here on your screen is the list of businesses and organizations that have satisfied all requirements of membership. And in keeping with our bylaws and to make their membership official, let's take this opportunity to formally admit and welcome them to the chamber. So can I ask for a motion to admit all the new members who have expressed an interest in joining the chamber since May 2021? I have a first mover, Steph Klovchuk, and Deb Wiegers, I think, was second, beat Todd out by about a millisecond. I'll ask everybody to vote now. Excellent. Motion passes. Thank you all. Next on our agenda is the swearing in of the board's officers for 2022-2023. So, a little tour through legislative history as delivered by the lawyer with the tie. The Federal Board of Trades Act, an act that I'm sure all of you have read or you should read. It is very riveting. The act that establishes our legitimacy and mandate requires that we have a commissioner of oaths, a judge, or the mayor preside over these proceedings. And for that reason, we picked the obvious and only choice. We are grateful and honored to have His Worship Mayor Charlie Clark join us today. Charlie Clark was re-elected mayor of Saskatoon in 2020 for a second term with a mandate to build a strong economic future where no one is left behind. His goals include continuing to foster innovative partnerships that build solutions to keep people safe, keep people working, and strive to make Saskatoon the most livable mid-sized city in Canada. Mayor Clark, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon and presiding over this part of our agenda. and I will turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. But I thank you for that history. It's when I first became mayor, it was a little bit unusual to get asked to come, and I didn't realize this was one of the parts of the job, but I have come to enjoy it and appreciate it. And certainly it's a chance to connect and see who can celebrate and thank the people who have been serving on the chamber, and to welcome new members on. And I'm just going to take a brief moment to say that, you know, and that I had a chance, I was a bit late getting on the call, but to see some of the stats and some of the progress and some of the activities that the chamber's been up to. And, you know, I really think during a challenging time, like we've seen in the last 2 years, even though on one hand, you know, it's harder to have events, it's harder to get people together. The work of the chamber to be a place that people can stay connected, can reach out to each other, can support one another in continuing to operate your businesses and organizations, and learn from each other as to how to get through these difficult times. You know, I think the value of the chamber's work showed as much as ever. And, you know, I also think your advocacy voice has been clear. There's times when I disagreed, you know, with some of what's been said in the last year, in particular around our budget and so on. And I've had some good conversations with Jason about that. You know, it's been critical that that the local business community has a strong voice and is at the table and is making sure that the realities of what businesses are facing are being clearly heard, and especially, as we say, when we're in a time where there's a lot of challenges for the community. And now, as we are going into what we are hearing increasingly from the mining sector, the construction sector, some of our large companies like the Nutrients of the world and the chemicals of the world, that we have some tremendous opportunity ahead, and that what Saskatoon and our region has and our province has are increasingly important in the world. And we are at a moment where we need to make sure that we can leverage where we are and who we are to create as much opportunity for the people in our community, the businesses in our community as possible. And so I look forward to working with the chamber on that, and on the flight connections that were talked about. I know are absolutely critical at our airport, the downtown event and entertainment district. A few of the people who are on this call were just on another call where we were focused on working together to make sure that we get that right and make sure that it becomes a very vibrant and exciting district for a growing city that will give people a sense of real hope and opportunity in the dynamism we have. And finally, that we make sure that there is, as my bio says, opportunity for everyone. As our city is more diverse than it's ever been, there are more people coming to our city, wanting to invest in our city, wanting to be part in our city, wanting to seek opportunity in our city, whether it's from the First Nations, Métis communities, or from people who moved here from all over the world, and working together to ensure that that we can create opportunity for all of those people and reduce barriers people face to being able to succeed here is going to be critical. And the chamber has been doing some great work in helping to do that work, including the UN92 or Margot's leadership, that Margot Orr's on the local immigration partnership, and a number of different other initiatives. So thank you for that. I look forward to continuing to work together on all of these initiatives. And I will now get to the point that is my main job, which is the swearing in. So what I'm going to do is ask if incoming Secretary Joel Peterson, Second Vice Chair Joe Gill, First Vice Chair Tanis Taylor, and Chair Colton Wiegers, please raise your right hand as I read the oath. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the oath, and then I'm going to call each of your name one by one and ask you to say "I do" after I have read the oath. So I've got to go back and forth between my script and the screen. So has everybody got their hands raised? Thank you. And Joe, can you let me know if everybody else does? Because I can mostly see you right now. Are we good?
I think I see the hands.
Okay.
I think I see the hands.
Excellent. So I'm going to now read the oath. Do you solemnly swear to uphold the oath of office as Secretary second vice chair, first vice chair, and chair of the Greater Saskatoon Chamber of Commerce. Joel Peterson.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Joe Gill.
I do.
Tanis Taylor.
I do.
And as I understand it, incoming chair Colton Wiegers.
I do.
Congratulations. Well, we're not quite there yet. So I'm going to do the next part of the oath. Do you swear that you will faithfully and truly perform your duty as secretary, second vice chair, first vice chair, and chair of the Greater Saskatoon Chamber of Commerce, and that you will, in all matters connected with the discharge of such duty, do all things and such things only, as you shall truly and conscientiously believe to be adapted to promote the objects for which the said chamber was constituted, according to the true intent and meaning of the same, so help me God. Joel Peterson.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Joe Gill.
I do.
Tanis Taylor.
I do.
And Colton Wiegers.
I do.
Wonderful. Well, that officially swears you in and into your very, very important roles, providing leadership on the board of the Chamber of Commerce. And so thank you all for stepping up and taking on this very important leadership role. I personally look forward to working with all of you in the year ahead. Thank you very much, Joe.
Excellent. No, thank you, Barry Clark, and thank you and congratulations, self-serving as it is for me to say it, to the executive officers sworn in today. I obviously look forward to working alongside all of these great people who I've had the pleasure to already work with, and look forward to it as we move to the next year ahead. There we go. There's my applause track, or my laugh track that I was waiting for. Perfect. So, how time flies. So before we close today's annual general meeting, I would like to recognize some of our outgoing board members who have contributed so much time to the chamber and business community during their time with us. And I mean, for a lot of people, I think a lot of people on the call, they see the individuals out there who serve on the board or serve on the team, and they don't often see sort of the work that goes on behind it. These are some hardworking individuals, and certainly people who have given a lot of themselves while they maintain busy personal and professional lives, and have done a lot to sort of enrich the experience at the chamber, and have given a lot of their incredibly valuable perspective as we've gone along. I don't know that we have everybody necessarily on the call, because even my egregiously large monitor doesn't have everybody's face on here, but I will give the particular kudos to Heather Ryan from Federated Co-op, Tara McEwen from Connexus Credit Union, and Carla Brown from Real Canadian Property Management Professionals. Now, finally, and perhaps the most important presentation of them all, it's my pleasure to introduce outgoing President Graham Snell, on the road somewhere, God knows where, to formally pass the President's gavel to incoming Chair Colton Wiegers. Oh, there we go. So this gavel, or there we go. So this gavel, or the real version thereof, I know we only care about digital goods right now, but I swear there's a real gavel, has been passed through the hands of Saskatoon's business leaders for decades, transferring responsibility for the success of our business community and our chamber year over year. So Graham, let me turn things over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming. My apologies for not being in a real place. I'm sitting beside my lovely wife right now in the mountains, and luckily I have reception for as long as I can, but I am more than happy to pass this gavel on to Mr. Colton Wiegers. I've had a really great opportunity to work alongside him all these past years, to get to know him really well. As everybody knows Colton. I can't believe if you don't know him, how could you not? He's a mover and a shaker. He's always bebopping and scatting all over. His heart is bigger than the mountain that I'm looking at beside me, and he is.
I was going to say, did he send it over to me? Thank you, Graham. Appreciate the warm welcome and the kind words. We lost you a little bit at the end, but I think I caught the gist of it. Might need to add beep bopping and scatting to my resume now, if I'm apparently an expert at it. So I want to start this speech off, I guess, giving some acknowledgement to Graham as well, coming before me. I couldn't imagine a better person for me to follow in the chair role. For those who don't know, Graham and I were both elected to the board at the same time in 2018. We both shared the ambition to get involved on a deeper level quickly and put our names forward for the second vice chair, only to be bested actually by our current CEO, Jason, who was on the board at the time. Both of us went forward again next year with Graham coming out on top. And we did say, though, that time around, we said the winner would buy the loser drinks next time. So it was an okay consolation prize for me. And here we are today, having worked very closely the past year as a trio. And I guess it means either you're both pretty great guys, Graham and Jason, or I'm just a very gracious loser, because I think we work very well together and we've done some awesome things the past year. Over those past years, though, Graham, you've become a mentor to me and someone I truly enjoy catching up with. Your strong leadership has helped the Chamber climb out of COVID. I'm excited and eager to pick up where you left off. I know I'll have one more year with you as the past chair, but it does feel a bit odd that our time together is beginning to wind down. And speaking of the past chair, I don't believe she's here today, but Carla Brown also joined the board at the same time as Graham and I, and she took the lead at probably the most chaotic time in the Chamber's 100+ history. We were hit with a global pandemic and a CEO change all at the exact same time. And I'll share this with Carla separately too, but Graham and I often spoke about how lucky we were in our timing, that we couldn't imagine how much you put in during that tough year when we were in the crunch, but I think it's paid off greatly. And I feel we're in a better spot than I would have thought possible just a couple of years ago. So I have some friends and family and colleagues who came out today virtually to support, and I wanted to extend a huge thanks to all of you for making the time. This type of work, like Joe mentioned, can be time consuming. And for me, it's extended many years now. And I wouldn't be able to put that time in if I didn't have a dedicated team at Uyghurs Financial Benefits who help keep the machine running. I wouldn't be able to justify giving up nights and weekends to get involved if I didn't have friends and a loving wife who not only support me, but encourage me to do so, even when it meant cutting out time with them. And I wouldn't have had the confidence to put my name forward to run for the board in the first place if it weren't for a supporting and encouraging business community. So I want to give a bit of history. Some of you do know this, but I got involved with the Chamber back in 2013, so almost 10 years ago now, through what was called the Junior Chamber of Commerce at the university. I was cold reached by an individual named Jordan Duchak, who had this great idea and plan for getting students better connected to the Chamber. I can honestly say, I don't know where I would be professionally if he had not reached out to me that day and got me involved. I owe a ton of gratitude to him for getting me started on this path and for where it's come now. During that time as a student, I was able to be introduced to so many great business leaders that I've crossed paths with many times since. Sylvia Martini, Sanj Singh, Steve McClellan, Ken Smith-Windsor, just as a few examples. All of these people and many more went out of their way to ensure that as students, we were always given warm introductions to the room. And it can be pretty intimidating walking into a room full of strangers who are anywhere from 5 to 40 years older than you. But there was always a smiling face of someone that you could gravitate to, and it did make you feel like you belonged there as well. I've learned a tremendous amount in my past 9 years with the Chamber. Whether it be through board meetings or one-on-one chats, there's a culture of giving advice, giving time, or giving expertise. Now, the topic of financial planning doesn't usually come up in our meetings, but if someone like Joe was billing his legal hours, well, McKercher and all the other law firms would be filling half the board right now. But that's how this group is. Everyone shares openly and does so not just to give their opinion, but to show others how they got to it so that we're all better off as a group. What's been most encouraging to me, though, that was present right from day one, has been the openness of people to listen. I joined this board at the ripe age of 24, and although I didn't want to ask, I'm sure I've sat down on numerous occasions with someone who had kids older than me. Now, I like to think my beard adds enough years to get by, but I don't doubt for a second that whenever it was my turn to speak, I was heard and listened to. And that's something I want to emphasize, say to anyone in the audience who's thinking about getting involved. Don't get caught up in how qualified you may or may not be for something. Put your hat in the ring and see what happens. It might take you a try or two, or 3 if you want to be the chair, but when you make it through, what you have to say will be heard and respected. It's been a crazy couple of years, as I'm sure everyone here is aware. And it's, to me though, in those years, it's been so much more apparent how important the voice of this community is. As a chamber, we've advocated for business support and caution for health measures during the pandemic. We've collaborated on downtown safety and how to help our city's most vulnerable. And we've listened and brought Indigenous issues to the forefront of our business community. These last couple of years have been the most intense by far, but also the most rewarding. And these are the types of things the Chamber advocates for and works on to improve in our city. If you're thinking about getting involved and want to know how, please reach out. The more we all contribute and make our voice heard, the better Saskatoon becomes. I look forward to serving in this role over the next year and making Saskatoon the best business community it can be. Thank you. And, oh, thank you, T-Bone. Appreciate it. I'm going to continue off until we get to the close of this meeting. So it's a long-standing tradition at the Chamber to present the outgoing president with a framed caricature as a reminder of his or her time as a leader of the board and our business community. So you'll see this great one of Graham. The guitar is so fitting. And although he might look a little relaxed, we can definitely attest that it's been a crazy, busy and challenging year through his term as the president of the board and through COVID leadership changes and all of the chaos that was there. So Graham, I mentioned it in this speech, but I want to say it again, your time and your effort and your leadership has been so critical to getting us through this, and we really do thank you for that. I hope you enjoy your caricature and hang it up in the, I like it too. I see that you got the Metallica shirt and everything there. It's so fitting. So thank you again, Graham. We did have the opportunity to present Graham with the caricature earlier this week as a token of our sincere appreciation and gratitude for his time on the, for his leadership over the past year. So thanks again and congratulations, Graham. It's now my privilege to introduce to you the 2022 to 2023 Board of Directors. We've got the slide up here with our names and faces. I'll just go through them one at a time here. Tanis Taylor, Joseph Gill, Joe, do you go Joseph or Joe? Louis Assant, Todd Denzin, Stephanie Klobuchuk, Shayna Linden, Wanda Waldner, Gabe LaFond, Claire Marintet, Joel Peterson, and Tammy Sweeney. So this is an outstanding group of individuals, and I've obviously worked with a number of them for either a year or two or more, and I can definitely attest that their passion and their drive to really help Saskatoon succeed, it's there. And especially in the grind and the crunch we've been in, you really do see that these people around the table who put the time and effort to not just run for election, but then campaign, get on the board, and then serve the time. You can tell that they are passionate and they are doing what's best for the business community here. So I'm very excited to work with this group of people. And thank you again for everyone who put their names in as well. Everyone who was did run. If you're considering running, again, we always are encouraging and we wanting new folks to join our team here. So thank you again for the continued leadership and service to the business community. And with that, my first order of business as the chair is to bring this meeting to a close. Probably the thing everyone loves the most, the adjournment. So can I have a motion to adjourn the 115th annual general meeting of the Greater Saskatoon Chamber of Commerce? I need a mover. I see Jody Blackwell. And I need a seconder. I see Linda. There we go. And if you could please vote through the poll that popped up for you. I'm assuming this is passed, but I'll give it its quick moment to. There we go. Some people weren't sure they wanted it to end. That's fair. We're having so much fun. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Be sure to follow the Chamber's latest news and events on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, using the handle @TheChamberYXE. We're just getting ramped up again. Things are opening up. The business community is getting vibrant again. I'm sure as many of you have seen that when you're out and about, and we're looking to be right on top of that as your Saskatoon Chamber. So also watch for the Chamber check-in every Tuesday in your inbox. Thanks everyone and take care.